It is now my distinct pleasure to introduce Senator Barry Goldwater. Senator, we are always honored to have you speak to our graduates, and more importantly, we're very graced to have our school carry your name. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, thank you very much for that introduction, and thank you for having invited me once again to address the graduating class. I'm still looking forward, though, to having the graduation back at the school. And I see no real reason why we shouldn't. I remember the first two we had over there, and it didn't rain, didn't blow dust. It was just a good graduation, but they're all good. I remember mine, I only had one. I had to go with the president's daughter about 2 years to even get out of school then. But in wondering what to discuss with you tonight, it wasn't easy. I attended the graduation yesterday of the Air Force Academy up in Colorado Springs, where we graduated about 950 young men and women to go out into the service of their country. And I thought of the subject of service because it was always my old grandfather's statement that everybody born on earth owed rent for the space he occupied on this earth. And the rent he always felt could be paid in some kind of service, doing something for somebody else, doing unto others as you would have them do unto you. And I have found throughout my long life that it's a wonderful admonition, it's a wonderful thing to follow, no matter what that service might be. So as you go out into the world, whether you go on to college or go into a job, get married, raise a family, just remember those words: service helps pay for our space on earth. I can think of only one dominant subject that has been prevalent throughout my life, and every year at graduation time I feel it's a little more so, but then I begin to realize that it never gets less, it always seems to grow, and that's the subject of honesty. And it's something I don't have to talk to you all about. It's something your mothers and fathers, your church taught you, you've been taught in school. But if there's one dominant lack in this world today, it's the lack of honesty. And this prevails right across the board. My suggestion to you as you live your lives is to be honest with yourselves, be honest with each other, be honest to where you live, and always be honest to your country. I remember a graduation address just a few years ago over at Arizona State when Dr. Noble had a Motorola, was still living, and he made the statement that he wanted to be living 50 years from that night, because he said there will be more advancement made by man, and that includes you girls, in the future in 50 years than has been made in the whole 7,000 years of history. And I can pretty much agree with that. I happen to serve on a board of directors that controls all the satellites up in the sky, and it is now possible, although I'm not sure we want it to have happen, but it's now possible for every person living in this world to have a telephone and be able to talk to each other. And there's times when I think they're all trying to do it, all at the same time. But the advancements that are going to be made in the coming few years are advancements I'd like to be here to see. I remember when I learned how to fly 70-odd years ago, and the airplane I learned in would go 80 miles an hour if you put the nose down, just a little bit. And since that time, I've flown over 3.5 times the speed of sound at over 80,000 feet. And I can tell you that the United States government has flown an airplane 8,000 miles an hour, and we're just getting started. And when they talk about flying from San Francisco to Tokyo in a half an hour, I just want to be here. I would like to have a ticket to see if it will happen. The advancements that will be made in education to cope with this haven't even started to take place yet. I remember when I went to high school, those of us who didn't particularly plan on going to college could take machine shop, woodwork. We could take studies that enabled us to learn how to use our hands to make something. This isn't true anymore, because the future in the job market in this world is going to be service. You'll be doctors, you'll be some of the lawyers, although I think we have too many. Some of you will be teachers, and we don't have enough. But you're going to spend your lives in the service of other people. And I can't think of another job that would be more challenging or more rewarding than to get up in the morning and know that the day is going to be filled with helping somebody. Whether that person needs help or knows he needs help or not is beside the point. It's a beautiful thing to live knowing that there are people around you who need you, who want you, and who look up to you and respect you. I'm very proud to be here tonight, and I'm reminded of the fact, standing here, that I was invited by the president of the University of Arizona, where I went for part of 1 year, to make the graduation address at the 100th anniversary. And he said, but please keep it short. So I got up before the graduating class and read that part of his letter, where it says, please keep it short. And I said, I just finished my graduation address, and sat down. I never had so much applause in my life. But I'm not going to do that tonight. I've already talked longer than I intended. I just want to wish for all of you a lifetime of happiness and a lifetime of service and a lifetime of living in this wonderful country of ours, dedicated to the purpose of freedom, knowing that there won't be trouble in this world unless the communists who are still living in Russia and elsewhere decide that they want more of it. And if they happen to vote for that, then I say, Sadie, lock the door, because we're going to have trouble. But I don't think that's going to happen, because once people have tasted the fruits of freedom, they never want to be enslaved again. So Godspeed you, God bless you, and have a good life.